Got the 64 version 2 of the F-18. Here's the box. Oh, a lot more information on the back. Alright, when you open it, I just cut the tape away to give you a quicker look than looking at me do it. It's very loosely fit in here. Well, I'm gonna support that on the side. Then you got a bunch of random, you got your book. And a bunch of random cut pieces of the foam. This is kind of folded up. Let's see if something's in here. No, this was folded up a little bit to stop it from rubbing against stuff. So that's all your ordnance. That's cool. And we got a big AMRAAM Sparrow type mural missile. There's some sidewinders. Got your tail. Everything is just loose in here. Crazy, but I guess the foam packed it in tight enough. I don't see any damage. So far so good. I'm being delicate with it because I don't want to have scratches on the pretty brand new. Whoa, look at this. Alright, something's in here. Get this extra foam out. And the other wing. Alright, put this back down. Alright, there's a spar. That'll be the main wing spar. Sounds like carbon. Alright. Oh, and we got two big old drop tanks. Wow, these kind of look like they could be missiles. I mean, missiles. Bombs, but because drop tanks don't necessarily usually have these little conical fins, or there's different types of fins on real bombs. But anyway, so that's all of that. Let's see what we got in this little cubby in the front. Some wadded up stuffy, and okay, the wheel. The wheel covers and looks like a push rod for something. One of the control surfaces, a nose cone. Definitely a necessity. Kind of weird. Nose cone, not what I'm used to. And the hatch. Cool. Looks like this is definitely going to be a gluing event. Let's see if I can see down here. Yeah, the duck. One single fan. Whoa. Alright. I thought this was noteworthy. I flipped this over and I was like, man, this is so familiar. So that's your underbelly. Now look at this F-15. Crazy. Same little vents. Go all the way up the belly. Go all the way up the belly. Now the intakes are different, obviously, with the 15 versus the 18. But so many similarities. The way these two wires come across. They're there, but they're under a piece of tape on this one. So much. I think like these are pretty much the way this lug is. It's the exact same lug that this thing had. Like these are the same jet, even though one is E-Flight and one is FMS. They are the same. The length is the same. Like virtually the nose cone on the E-Flight is this magnetized deal, whereas this one's loose. But everything else is so similar. The nose gear, look at that. Crazy. The cones, maybe not exactly the same on the cones, but you get the picture of what I'm saying. So, first step is to put the spar through the wing, and then there's these tabs with metal reciprocals. You slide the wing on, which I've already done. I got one screw in. I had an extremely hard time getting it on one screw on that plane, and I've already found that I'm gonna have the similar situation with this plane. It's hard to see the reciprocal, but I would just wouldn't put the second wing on before I even try to get that one. So I just want to show you how far the hole is off. And like I explained, I had the hard time with the last aircraft, and it's extremely hard this time. Same thing. I got, well, last time I was able to get all but one. Now I'm only getting two. And at one time, the other two are going to be extreme fight. Look at that. You can see that one completely off. So I'm totally disgusted with this. Like I said, I had a super hard time with the last airplane, which is, I believe, to be the exact same thing with a different body style. But look, ridiculous just to try to get this on tape. Look how shallow the amount of threads there is when you have this whole chamber. They could have made this screw a couple of millimeters longer. So you got this big box to go through, but it's not. I got it where it was screwing. I felt like I was in the hole, but it's not catching. I feel like this screw is too short. And everything I have in my little screw kits is just like stuff that's not going to work. Basically, cap screws that's going to stick out. And this got to be counterset. It's just stupid. I don't know how they could have a kit that's not new and have something that's so off. So after much manipulation, taking all the size drill bits to drill out this hole slowly by hand, I got it to where it's tightened and it's going to be strong enough for flight, I would believe. So this is on the first step. Let's hope the rest of the build gets better than this. So I'm installing all the glue-on parts. So you get to these and they have a little area that's not painted for you to get some strength. However, on the other part, in vertical and horizontal, it's not. So I just took and sanded off some of the painted area to just give me some styrofoam to bite into with this glue. I'm using foam to foam. It recommends medium CA, but it seems like everybody I see building is using this, so I'm gonna follow the experts. They're all flying them. Now, when I did that one, I did use CA, and like I keep saying, it's identical to this one. I didn't have any trouble with it flying. Nothing's falling off, so the CA works fine. And I didn't strip anything. Everything was fully on the painted surfaces, so far so good. So I'm just gonna take my foam to foam and blow off any debris from me sanding and stuff. And I'm gonna put a nice bed of it in there. Come back far as I can this way. Fill the gap on that side. Just put a lot in here so that it at least has its best, has its best chance to, really hard to film yourself doing stuff, but I'm trying. And it looks like when I'm doing a good job filming, I'm not doing a good job of what I'm doing. So once I get the foam in there, I usually take and put some on this side. I can't do that one-handed, so hang on. So I just run a nice smear bead on the other surface. It's hard to see with all the paint stuff, but I just kind of, you can see it if you look at it, different angles. Just kind of a smear bead, and I'm gonna kind of position this on here and fold it down where it goes, and I'm gonna let it bubble out a little bit. And I got plenty of glue in there, so I'm gonna pull it apart, let it air, and check my surfaces, make sure I'm getting enough contact. It looks like I am. It's not the perfect all the way around, but yeah, getting a really good area. So I'm gonna put the phone down for a second and wipe off that excess glue. You see that glue right there on that ledge? That's what I'm getting. Alright, I got that little glue off, and some more might come out in this process, but I'm just get it set in like it goes. This aircraft has a very positive seating of where the stabilizer goes. You could probably rock it back and forth trying to figure it out, I guess, but it sits in pretty good right there. Yep. So I have a lot more seepage than I did on the other side because I probably put a little bit more glue, but anywho, I am going to clean it up now. So the next step in the direction is just to connect all the linkages and such. I'm going to skip that for now. I'm going to skip the wheels for now because I'm going to let the glues dry overnight. But I am going to go ahead and hit this nose cone, and I'm on the fence about the ordnance. This guy has like a slide-on ordnance job, whereas these ordnance glue on permanently. I don't know. I love the look, so I guess I'm going to probably go with it, but I'm thinking about it. Let me do the nose cone first and go from there. So it's an interesting situation with the nose cone. It's not like a pop-off like that one has a magnet. So if you put it on in all kinds of positions, it points up in weird little things and doesn't fit just right. But I figured out when you get it to the right position where it looks good, you just kind of course, I dropped it again. Yeah, you spin it until you get it kind of where it looks right. And then you try it on and boom, I think that's it. So let me get some glue on that. I'm going to use CA for this because this is not foam. Well, I think one of the coolest things about an F-18 is that the sidewinders on the tips make it just look cool. So I'll probably end up knocking these off or some variation of, but I'll just keep taping them and gluing them or whatever it takes. So this, of course, has just a little bit of foam showing. Of course, no foam showing here. I might try to do a little scoring there just to give me a little more bite on the glue, and I probably will use CA for this. I don't know. I guess the foam to foam should work. Maybe I will. Give me a little extra time because, man, the nose cone, whew, I got the glue on there, and then as soon as I seated it, it was done. It just fit. So fortunately, I had it where I think it goes, but whew, could have been bad if I needed to slide it a little bit because it wasn't going to slide. I went ahead and got some of the paint off of these missiles. I don't know what these are. I'm going to have to look them up. They're definitely not Sparrows. Maybe AMRAAMs, not sure. And the Mark Series bombs, like, I'm thinking about maybe painting them to kind of match missiles and bombs better. I'll probably also do the same with the wingtips because the sidewinders are the, like I said, the focal piece. But at this point, I can fly it like this, I think, because it has the look. You know, I don't need the bombs. You know what I'm saying? That's the look I'm after. The wingtips are the only thing that's necessary. So I'm gonna hold off on the other stuff. I'm gonna hold off on the landing gear for now because I want to be able to flip it over, and probably should have put it on like they recommended because I was gonna be able to flip it over and kind of, no, they recommended it after these anyway, so that means you couldn't flip it over either way. So alright, so it is what it is, but they weren't hard to put on the last aircraft, so I'm pretty confident on how they go on. Alright, so battery and radio. So I'm just gonna let this dry, and then perhaps tomorrow give it a try to finagle with things and put the horns on and such to get things lined up. But beautiful thus far. So of course, being impatient, I put the gear on so that I could hang it on the wall like I do that one. But as you can see, the bottom, it's not going to bother me that those white foam spots are going to be showing. Yep. So I'm going to keep going, but like you can see the whole, I like the little locking mechanism for the servo, but there's extra wire, as you can see right there, and there's these grooves for the servo wire, which they came pretty tucked away from out the box, but you know, you can see them. The E-flite bird has like matching color tape. It even has like blue and gray covering the areas where the orange wire is showing. Like, that's weird for that to be showing. I might have to figure out some kind of tape to put over it myself, because it's terrible. Just another added thing. So there's only one hole that this will fit in. It tells you in the directions to put it to the bottom hole, but the second hole is big enough to fit in. I mean, I could have drilled it out, don't get me wrong, but I think that's where they wanted it. Alright, so I used the AR-630 for this, and it's gonna be really hard to get a shot. Oh, there it is. Good shot right there. So if I can get it to focus in the right area. Alright, you see I mounted it to the top upside down with the bind button facing forward and the plugs facing back. The reason why I decided to go with this configuration was because the wires were coming out of the back. I was going to maybe extend them and put them up here, and I'll explain why. Alright, so this is the F-15, obviously. And I was just like, to me, these birds are almost identical in most ways. But you can see it's real busy in that little wire chase of this one. Let me take the nose cone off and I can go right. Yeah, there we go. It's cool that the nose cone comes off. So I'm gonna see if I can get it focusing. You can see it's real busy in there. When you pull this out the way and you stick your battery in, you're fighting a bunch of wires. I might eventually like tape this stuff on the side because I haven't flown it very many times. But anyway, so then up in the front, all of your business comes to this, to the AR-630, and they got it neatly set up. Like, there's like a bulkhead there for it to sit on, kind of perfect setup. And I was like, oh, well, this seems good. They even got like a little hole where the wires chase through. So when I get in here, all right, there is no bulkhead. It will be sitting way down low unless I made something, and the wires would, you know, I could definitely chase them through there like they had it. But I noticed that the directions for the receiver said to place the receiver as close to CG as you can get for best results. So the CG is way back here, obviously, so I'm closer to it than I would be in the nose. And this aircraft oscillates a little bit in flight. I'm trying to figure out how to fix that with gain or whatever. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is, all that wire was in here, just a big ball of mess. I wish I would have showed you all before I went this far, but I'm doing this all by myself, so it's kind of hard to film like this build myself. I should just probably set up the tripod, but the problem is, and when I do set up the tripod, it's like I can't get the angles that I need anyway, so for the most part I'm still taking it off, putting it on, which I probably should do anyway. Anywho, I'm to this point right now. I've taken a piece of wire. So if you could imagine, all of the wires were just a big ball of mess in here. You know, kind of like that other bird I just showed you. So I took a piece of electrical wire, made a little flat surface for it to get into, and then I just went in here and I pushed them all back. So they are all back in that little hole. And I was like, well, where does that hole go? I looked in here and I can see that it tapers to like a V. And then I guess there must be like the smallest chase for the ESC wires to go. So at the end of the day, the basic concern that I had was that they might go into this area and get by the fan or something. But they definitely can't. So, and I'm looking deep in there, trying to show you guys deep in there really. There's no way those wires are coming in there. So it's just a chase for wires. So they end up balled up in most aircraft that I've seen from E-flite and everybody else anyway. So they're not exactly balled up. They're nice big loops in there. I just ended up neatly tucking them all in. So the one for the steering, it comes in a nice little bedded chase, and there's no provisions for it after that. So I'm just gonna take some tape and kind of fit it in. So I'm gonna see if I can't do this to kind of show you what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna take some clear tape, and I usually have fairly decent results with this. I'm gonna end up blocking that little vent right there, so I don't want to do that. I'm gonna cut a thinner strip. Because I want it to look neat at the end of the day. Alright, I got a thinner strip. Kind of see that. I'm going to lay it on the wire, and I'm going to flatten the wire out. It's still covering that little gap that I didn't want to cover. So I'm going to have to rethink that whole process. But I can definitely maneuver it like I want to. It's so hard to do this by yourself. My wife always says, she's so ridiculous. This cannot be done by yourself. The people that do this are a team, and that's how it works. So there we go. I have what I wanted to achieve, was getting that wire neat in that area. I kind of wanted to illustrate that because it's one of the things that's important to me. I don't just want it to be, I want things to be neat and aesthetically pleasing when I'm looking at it. When I open the hatch, I don't want it to look junky and wires everywhere. So I'm gonna get rid of that little V that I didn't like, fold it in the gap. All right, now I'm gonna see if I can't get one more piece just to secure that wire from being loose back there. I don't guess you get the idea. I don't need to show you all that. I'm gonna pause. All right, so now that that's all kind of not dangling, I got a very clean area to install. My receiver's got Velcro on it at the top. Seems to be holding well. Shouldn't be doing much because it's just gonna sit there in flight. So now I can do my gyro configuration, which is brand new to me. Make no mistake, I'm not one of these guys with the crazy YouTube channels that give you super duper details because they know it and they do it. I am just figuring this out on my own, and I'm aggravated in most of these situations because like there ain't much info out there for the things I'm trying to do in YouTube. There's thousands of people, not thousands, but there's a lot of people on there that take this aircraft and fly it, but they don't even show you with the canopy off, which aggravated me quite profusely because I wanted to see, like, did everybody put it up here, or what were people doing? I was so frustrated a few minutes ago, and
You got a new one, huh?
I did.
What's up, Cliff? Hey, what's going on, man?
All right, we got the F-18 Super Hornet.
Well, when you started,
While it's pretty, all views. Do a thrust in the face like normal. Got some thrust to it. I notice I'm not getting nervous as I used to.
piece of cake.
Nah, you fine.
Wheel came off.
That was the hatch that I was worried about.
Just fly it. Just keep flying it.
Yeah, it's just the hatch. Yes.
maxed out on my trim. Still coming down some, but it's flying. So I definitely need to adjust it. So I got to put a magnet in that hatch for sure.
How it feel?
It's a weird, but it's flying. It's the first bird I ever set up like this, so
Okay.
it's working. That's a good thing.
This is your maiden, huh?
Yes, it is.
That's what I thought. That's doing pretty good.
I know you didn't get that. I had to give it all of my trim because it's going down. See how it's going down?
Yeah.
And I'm having all my trim is down already, and I'm still having to give it some stick, so I definitely got to adjust it.
Well, I really have to keep my eyes on that one.
Not bad.
Oscillating, man.
Got a gyro in that?
I do. And diving down.
That's if you take your hands off, huh?
Yeah. Alright. Let's see if I can land this pig. I tell you this, it's hard to fly, Mr. Larry. With that pulling down.
Yeah.
You coming in because I'm bullshit.
I'm coming in. And my timer's going off.
Oh, yay. Oh, yay.
Still in one piece.